Welcome here on the show 360 Sport on Trust TV. I'm Adeni G. Shafel. Looking at those particular clips there, that's National Sports Festival Zonal Elimination taking place across Nigeria. And really, the athletes really fought hard to see how they will qualify for different sporting categories that they are competing at. National Sports Festival will be coming up in Ogun State. Gateway Games will be coming up there by May. Well, right now, you saw those clips, handball, volleyball. Both men and women are trying to see how they can outsmart one another to qualify across the centers. That has to do with zonal elimination, Enugu, Ibadan, Jos, all the places or locations where they all fought hard to qualify for this competition. That's why we're looking at this story. That has to do with the National Sports Festival zonal elimination, starting from for the North Central state. That has to do with all the states from the North Central and also the FCT. They all gathered in Jos, Plateau State. But right now, FCT team did well in the competition. 2025 NSF. FCT maintained dominance at North Central zonal elimination that took place in Jos, and we look at the fact that they really fought hard to qualify in some sports activities alongside other states who actually came from the North Central. Let's look at the East South concerning how they all fought hard in the competition. Talking about the NSF there. Well, FCT much dominant, topping multiple categories, while Plateau, Kwara, Kogi, Niger, Benue, and Nasarawa also earned places in various team sports. In basketball, Plateau male and FCT female clinched first place, with FCT male and Plateau female taking the second slot. FCT excelled in beach volleyball, securing both male and female top positions. Plateau finished second in the male category. Kwara and Kogi tops in cricket, while FCT and Benue claimed first place in football, male and female respectively. Kwara earned second place in the male division. Other notable performances include FCT dominance in handball, male, Kogi's triumph in handball, female, and Plateau sweeping both categories in hockey. Meanwhile, Kwara and Nasarawa emerged first in male and female volleyball, respectively, with Plateau finishing as runners-up in both categories. Right now, all the teams, states and FCT that will be participating in that's National Sports Festival, they know themselves right now in those sporting moments where they were able to qualify. Congrats to all of them, and congrats to Team FCT being able to fight hard to see how they will qualify in different sporting moments over there in Jos for the North Central Zonal elimination. Some also actually took place in Enugu. That's for the southeastern part. We have in Kaduna. Now look at the southeastern part now. Imo shows dominance. Our southeast zonal elimination ends in Enugu. Well, still looking at south from what happened in Enugu there, where Imo State picked 9 qualification slots, the highest among the 5 participating states, men and women handball, while in men's basketball, Imo State picked one of the 2 available slots alongside Enugu. Anambra and Ebonyi States won the women's slot. Men's volleyball, Imo also finished first, while Enugu won the second qualification slot. In the women's category, you have Anambra and Abia picked the 2 available tickets. Beach volleyball, Imo and Abia secured the 2 slots. Men's category, while Anambra and Abia represent for the women. In cricket, Imo and Anambra are the 2 qualified states. Ebonyi and Abia will also be at the festival, but in the women's category. Handball, Enugu and Anambra states in the men's category, while for the women, it's Imo and Abia that actually qualified. Football men's category, Imo and Ebonyi are the 2 qualified teams, while Enugu and Abia states picked the 2 available slots. In the women's category, looking at National Sports Festival zonal elimination, and you have to appreciate all the athletes who have been able to come out to fight for honors in all the centers: Kaduna, Jos, Enugu, Ibadan. Not forgetting all of them, trying to see how they can outsmart one another to qualify from their zone and also go for this particular 22nd National Sports Festival that will be coming up in Ogun State, tagged Gateway Games for 2025. As it says, all the athletes across the nation are really waiting to see, at least to compete for this in this competition that will be coming up. And right now, a lot of talent will be discovered, and the main thing is that we need to nurture them to stardom, not just to discover them, but nurture them. And it's not a do or die affair about winning. It's not about winning, but getting to see those talents and for them to be developed, and they'll be able to at least win more medals in future. It's going to be a gradual growth for this athlete, as you actually expect from the National Sports Festival. Also, the National Youth Games also serve as another bedrock where we can get talent when it comes to events in Nigeria. Away from that story, let's move away from the National Sports Festival, where we brought to you activities in different locations across Nigeria, focusing on Enugu and also Jos, where the elimination for North Central and also for southeastern part took place. Away from there, let's talk about Scrabble. When it comes to Scrabble, Nigeria is one of the best in the world when it comes to this particular sport. And now they are doing everything possible to make sure Scrabble really gets to that enviable height. That is why Nigeria Scrabble Federation deemed it fit to appoint 6 zonal youth coordinators that will be coordinating the youth to see how they can at least maintain that level of being number one when it comes to this sport in the world. We are really dominating in Africa, in West Africa, even in the world. Nigeria is no pushover at all when it comes to the wordsmith sport. So Scrabble Federation deemed it fit to actually appoint 6 zonal youth coordinators. We have Ben Quickpen. Ben Quickpen is now actually for South-South. It's going to be the youth coordinator, the zonal youth coordinator from South-South, from the Nigerian Scrabble Federation. You have Okagbe Ajuluchuku from Southeast, Hassan Olojuku from North Central. You have Frama Daniel, Northeast, Maxwell Chima, Northwest, and you have Joseph Okere also representing Southwest. These are the 6 youth coordinators that represent their zone at the Nigerian Scrabble Federation to see to the development of this particular sport called Scrabble, and they are trying their best to make sure they appoint people who are really round peggy, round hole, that knows the business of at least Scrabble, and also how to administer it. Right now, we are trying to see how we can grow our Scrabble players to become world beaters. That's coming from Nigerian Scrabble Federation so far. Congrats to those appointed. Hopefully they will deliver and make Scrabble also one of those sports Nigeria will get to win a lot. Away from that story of Scrabble, we'll move and talk about big one that happened in Tunis, capital Tunisia, where they actually come about 50 table tennis players gathered there for the ITTF Africa, International Table Tennis Africa. That's like AFCON of African table tennis. Well, Nigerian Aruna Quadri, defending champion he used to be, but right now he has been beaten by Omar Assar of Egypt. Well, both of them has actually won this particular encounter 5 times now. Table tennis, Omar Assar beats Quadri Aruna 4-3 to win African Cup. A tough duel between the two, as they actually fought hard to see who will win this particular game. Both of them are fighting hard to see how they will actually do well to beat each other. Well, as it says, a big one for Aruna Quadri. He fought hard, but he could not win against Omar Assar. Omar Assar actually triumphed 4-3 in that game, and right now celebrating being the champion of Africa after the sluggy defending champion Nigeria Aruna Quadri, who fought hard. But right now, both of them still qualify for the World Cup. Congrats to them for the fact that they were able to do. And if you look at the two of them and you appreciate how table tennis is being played, actually those two players have been best in Africa right now. If it's not Omar Assar, it's going to be Aruna Quadri. Aruna Quadri now has brought the burden for Omar Assar of Egypt. Both of them have been torn in the flesh of each other. But right now, it's the son of Omar Assar to rule Africa for the next 1 year before they will do it again. But both of them have also been able to qualify for the Macau 2025 that will be coming up over there in Macau, China, for the competition. That's the ITTF World Cup. But right now, let's still talk about the competition that took place in Tunisia, where the women version of it had 2 Egyptians at the final. Well, as it says, Hannah Goda was able to win, and Goda edged Dina Meashref as 2025 women champion. The lady was able to do it, and you have to celebrate what she did by being able to dislodge her compatriot Dina in that game. It ended 4-2 in favor of Hannah Goda, and congrats to her for being able to edge a rival, at least even though they are from the same country, but still the rivalry is there against Dina. But for Anna triumphed, and now she's the queen of table tennis in Africa. Congrats to her for being able to do it. Our own Fatima Bello, even though she could not get to the final, but right now she has qualified for Macau 2025. That's ITTF World Cup that will be coming up there. Congrats to Fatima Bello for being able to pick that particular ticket alongside Aruna Quadri, who also picked the ticket to represent Nigeria there. Congrats to both of them. For Fatima Bello, she's really doing well. She got to the semi-final, and all the semi-finalists automatically qualify. You have right now Omar Assar, Aruna Quadri, and you're not forgetting Fatima Bello qualifying there to make it. Dina Meshrem also made it to be able to at least participate in this competition. For Hannah Goda, this is a time to rule Africa when it comes to women table tennis. Congrats to all of them. As you just brought to you there, the story has to do with table tennis. Well, if you have young ones out there who are really into this sport, encourage them. You never can tell. They can be the next Aruna Quadri or Omar Assar of their nation. Away from table tennis, let's talk about football. This time around, we go straight to Ondo State as we talk about Sunshine Stars of Akure, who right now are standing 17th on the log. It's not too small for that team. And right now, the management of the team has actually issued ultimatum to the coaching crew. That's the story we're looking at there. Poor result. Sunshine Stars issues ultimatum to coaching crew. Orders. The orders there have to be with the team manager, the welfare officer. In fact, the entire management has been issued a warning there. They should do well. 3-match ultimatum. Sunshine Stars ultimatum to coaching crew, team manager orders. The management of Sunshine Stars has handed a 3-match ultimatum to the club's coaching crew following a poor run of form. The ultimatum also extends to the team manager, welfare officer, and other backroom staff. The decision was reached after an extensive assessment of the team's performance since the beginning of the second stanza of the Nigerian Premier Football League (NPFL). Sunshine Stars have managed to secure only 7 points out of a possible 21 in the second half of 2025 NPFL season. The management has made it clear that both the coaching crew and other backroom staff must improve their performance in the next 3 games or face sanctions, according to the media manager of Sunshine Stars there, Femi Atolagwe. Well, as it is, they've actually been issued 3-match ultimatum. They need to at least tighten their belt to see how they will do well to make sure their jaws doesn't go away, because the sanction will be coming if they don't actually sit well after 3 matches. They have been given the ultimatum there. Well, a good one at least. They need to inspire them to also give them the chance to prove themselves that they are worthy to be as coaching crew, welfare officer, and also the team manager of Sunshine Stars of Akure that was formed in 1995. One of the oldest right now when it comes to NPFL, and they are wallowing in 17th position. Not too good for that team from Ondo State. The Owena team really needs to do well. That's why they are giving the management, rather the crew, to make sure they win their games within the next 3 games. That's actually all for grabs as ultimatum. Away from that story, let's talk about Premier League. Premier League is getting more interesting right now because matches have been played, and you look at teams fighting hard to see how they can outsmart one another. You can't take any away from Liverpool, who right now have been able to do the business by being top of the table, sitting down comfortably. In fact, you can actually laugh at them for what they are doing, because right now you can laugh with them rather, because they have really shown a lot of class ahead of others. You look at the points gap between them and Arsenal, you support Liverpool because they've really given Arteta that word that he said over his dead body. Now try to extend the lead for the fact that he said that, and after all, they play draw in their own game. So for Liverpool, they deserve all it takes to celebrate right now. Talking about Premier League, a match was actually played yesterday between West Ham United and Leicester City. Well, West Ham United triumphed 2-0 in London. They were able to defeat that team that came visiting, that's Leicester City, where we have our own Wilfred Ndidi, but they could not salvage any point as they lost out to the team they faced at home. West Ham United showed their class and they won that game 2-0. Right now, being able to get the 3 points at stake is a huge one for them, and they are still celebrating that particular win because at least to some extent it has upped their points at the level of the Premier League. Well, if you look at how the table is, West Ham are also trying their best to see how they will do well, and really they really dominate. They did well against Leicester in that game, dominating them. For Leicester, look at them at the 19th position with a minus 36 as goal difference, and they have 17 as points. losing that game, not moving at all. It was just the way it is before they played the game. That's how it is still after they play that they lost that game. Well, as it is for West Ham United, they stand 15 after gathering 30, after actually getting 3 points to the 30 they were having. So they moved to 15 position right now with a minus 15 as goal difference between themselves and another team that are actually behind them. You look at Everton, Everton is now down. They actually exchanged the position. Everton was formerly sitting on 15 position, but now pushed down to 16, and now you have West Ham United ahead of them with 33, 1 point separating the two teams. And in the pecking order, we have Wolverhampton Wanderers and Ipswich Town, who right now need to up their antics if they are to remain in the Premier League next season. A tough one it is. Southampton, well, with just 9 points. For the fact that they've played 27 games, they have minus 46. That's a team that, from the way it is, it seems they are not ready to even move at all. They've been on that 9 point for a very long time. For Brentford, they have 38 points. Crystal Palace in that order, 36. Hull Spurs, surprisingly, standing 13 alongside Manchester United with 14. So Man United, Tottenham, West Ham are having the same point right now, and it's very dicey because Everton too, they have 32. So between Everton to Brentford, all of them will have to fight to see how they can maintain getting away from relegation. It's not an easy ride. They just have to fight hard to see how they can maintain it, because they are all really not doing so well, especially looking at Manchester United. Among this team, not even mid-table, they are actually out of the mid-table. They are standing just slightly ahead relegation zone. They are 14 to 17, and you have 33 as against Wolves or Everton 32, which is very dangerous for Manchester United, despite looking at how big that particular club is. What's happening to Manchester United? They really need to do something concerning the team. What's happening? Well, maybe when Ronaldo was talking, Cristiano, it was as if he was revealing too much, but now he's beginning to show more that the more they actually exchange managers, the further they go down in performance. What is happening to Manchester United? And the players actually leave the club, perform well wherever they go. We see Anthony doing well with Real Betis, and immediately Rashford joined Aston Villa. He also picked up and he begins to do well. Jadon Sancho, look at him in Chelsea. No matter how, you cannot compare how he was in Manchester United to how he is right now in Chelsea. But that's football. Hopefully the Red Devils will actually pick up the pieces and do well subsequently. Away from that particular Premier League table, maybe let's just have a flash for those who let's have a flash of the top 10 in the Premier League. You look at Liverpool, they just deserve. Let's take it from 1 to 10 for the Premier League, just to look at how it is again for people to actually appreciate the fact that Liverpool, they are ahead with 67 points, ahead of Arsenal 54. Nottingham Forest, they have 48. Manchester City, now they also swapping position with Chelsea, 47, while Chelsea have 46. Newcastle United standing 6th on the log with 44. Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham, and Aston Villa all lined up for 43, 43, 42, 42. So it's very competitive right now between even Nottingham Forest down to Aston Villa, 48 to 42, 6 points separating them. So it's still something they can fight for. But between Arsenal and Liverpool, well, the race is getting tougher, and Liverpool wouldn't stop widening the gap against the Gunners just to make sure Arteta eats his words. That's football for you. We'll be looking at the Premier League. Right now, let's cross over to where they speak Latin, Italian Serie A, as we look at Bologna. They were able to do well in the game. Bologna edged AC Milan 2-1 in that particular encounter. Congrats to the Bologna for being able to do it against all odds. They were at home and they were able to take advantage of playing at home, and they won against the Rossoneri's, who came visiting 2-1 in that encounter. Even though Rafael Leao pulled one back for them, it wasn't enough, as Bologna defeated AC Milan 2-1 in that game. Well, looking at how it is after they played their game, well, you have to give at least kudos to Inter Milan, still topping the Italian Serie A there with 57 points, and you have goal difference of 35. Napoli are now second with a point behind. That's 56 points, 21 as goal difference, followed by Ademola Lookman team, Atalanta, 54. Also very dicey between the three, 57, 56, 54, just 3 points, and anything can still happen in Italia. Serie A. Match day 26, getting hotter in Italy. Juventus are down with 49 points on fourth position, 22 as their goal difference. Lazio, 47. Bologna, who defeated AC Milan, are standing right now on sixth position with 44 points, and they have 8 as their goal difference. Fiorentina, 7th, 42 as their point. You have AC Milan losing that game against Bologna. Didn't speak too well for them. Now they are standing 8 with 10 as their goal difference and 41 as a point. And if you check Italia Serie A by now, Milan is always among the top team, but right now they seem not to be able to get it right. They're standing 8 or not far away. Number 8, Roma. Yes, Roma. I always call them sleeping giants. They actually have 40 points from the games they play in 26 matches, 11 as goal difference, and you have Udinese standing 10th, Torino, Genoa, you have Como also trying to see how they will do. SS Fabregas leading that team, standing 13 on the low, 28 as their point, -9 they've gathered so far, and you have Verona, Cagliari, Lecce, Parma, Empoli, Venezia, and you have Monza at the bottom of the table. Monza actually having 14 points, though still better than what Southampton are having in Premier League with 9, just 9 to their credit. But for Monza, they have 14 points, -22 as goal that actually they've conceded. Goal difference so far. Well, for Inter Milan, Napoli, and also Atalanta, well, fight to finish in those games for those 3 teams so far in the Italian Serie A. Just giving you all those stories that happened in the matches played yesterday. But before we go, we take 2 more stories. That's with MPFL. The player has moved away from Eyimba to join Benders of Insurance. His name is Bernard Ovoke. MPFL, Bernard Ovoke joins Bender Insurance from Eyimba. Well, a former player of Rivers United. He has played for Plateau United and also Eyimba. Right now, pitching 10th with Bender Insurance, and hopefully by weekend, he should be able to at least launch himself as a forward for Bender Insurance. Congrats to Voke, congrats to Bender Insurance, getting the player they've been looking for, and right now we just have to look at that. But before we go, let's talk about a man who has seen it all in football. He has won it with Inter Milan, FC Porto, he did well with Real Madrid, and now let's have it. Jose Mourinho, the special one as they call him, receives 4-match ban for comment after Istanbul derby. The derby between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce ended in a brawl, and right now the Turkish Football League actually fined him for some comment he made. And you know, typical Jose Mourinho when he starts his own. Let's look at Mourinho versus Turkish football. The TFF penalized him for his derogatory and offensive statements toward the Turkish referee, and because he accused Turkish football of chaos and disorder with insulting and offensive statements towards both the Turkish football community and all Turkish referees, Mourinho has been banned from the dressing room and dugout for 2 games and fined 117,000 Turkish lira, that's £2,000. Mourinho has also received another 2-match ban for an act against sportsmanship during his post-match news conference and been fined £32,000, making about 35 if you add it up. His comments that after the big dive in the first minute and they are bench jumping like monkeys on the top of the kid with the Turkish referee, you would have a yellow card after 1 minute, and after 5 minutes I will have to change him. That statement actually went already against the TFF. The TFF said the statement used towards the members of the opposing team were contrary to the ethics of sport and the concept of fair play, contained expressions that could encourage violence and disorder in sport, were divisive and separatist in society, and could cause fan incidents. Fenerbahce officials confirmed they will appeal the penalties given to Jose Mourinho, because right now a lot of players are beginning to come out to support Mourinho. One of them, Didier Drogba, said Mourinho is not a racist. In fact, you can actually credit him to be one of the coaches that have featured so many African players to make sure they do well while he was in Chelsea, Porto. If you remember Benny McCarthy, he was with him in Porto when he won the Champions League and all that. So he's getting a lot of support from African players right now. Mourinho is not a racist. Well, we wait to see. But for this particular situation, Fenerbahce said they will appeal the whole scenario, that they actually took Mourinho's comment out of that particular situation. Well, that's it on the show 360 Sport that we just brought to you. We just have to go now from the entire crew. And we always say sport is fitness and business. Thanks for watching.